Enzo Fernandez has the form, the fixtures, only cost 4.9 million, and he's just 3% owned. He might be coming into my team. This is my team selection video for game week 16. Hope you guys are all well and you've had a good green arrow. We're going to start with a very quick flash up of my score in game week 15. As I record this, we've still got the Monday night football to go, but good to have some returns. Solanke, I'm glad I kept you. Nice to have a return there. Cole Palmer, massive points. So many captain to him in the absence, of course, of Mo Salah. Rico Lewis, it was good I finally got a goal from you, but you went and got red carded. Thanks for that. And then Bruno Fernandes with your 9 points. That was very welcome. But Bruno might actually be leaving my team this week. We'll get to that in a second. Let me show you my bus team as it is. It's called a bus team. This is the team at the start of the week, just in case I get run over by a bus. At least it's semi-set for the deadline, right? So this is where we're at before I make any transfers. I got to be clear. 2 free transfers, 0.6 million in the bank. So we're happy there. We've got lots of opportunities. I'm going to be starting Sells in goal, Lewis Hall, Gabriel, and then probably Greaves. At the moment, I've got Mikalenko and Rico Lewis on the bench. Cole Palmer, Saka, Bruno. Rogers bench, but Salah in. And then front three of João Pedro, Solanke, Cunha. There's a few players that are vulnerable in this team that I could sell this week. Let's just go through them, right? I could sell Greaves this week. Let's put a question mark on Greaves. He could be gone. The guys on the bench, Mikalenko and Rico Lewis, let's not bother about them yet. They could be gone, but whatever. Greaves could be gone. Bruno, despite him being awesome, we're going to look at his numbers. He could be on the chopping block because I could use him as a bit of a cash cow. I need some funds. And then Solanke is still vulnerable as well, despite having Southampton up next. So Solanke, Bruno, and Greaves from my 11 are all vulnerable. Okay, so that's where we're at. Enzo. Why do I like Enzo so much? Well, look, this is his average position map against a recent home win against Aston Villa. For the last 4 game weeks, he scored 3 goals, 2 assists. Awesome numbers. He's playing in a much more advanced midfield role now. He's effectively playing with 2 deeper holding midfielders in Caicedo and Lavia. Caicedo inverting from right back quite often. And it means Enzo is more licensed. Rather than Enzo being one of the 2, Caicedo or Lavia, Enzo's in front of them. He's almost playing as a number 10, but sort of a box-to-box 8. Before he was playing as a 6, a DM. Since he's played as an 8/10, we're getting loads more points. 3 goals, 2 assists in the last 4 weeks. He is absolutely smashing it. He's also on half to set pieces, right? Enzo is 4.9 million, and Chelsea's fixtures are literally insane still. This is a really good moment to invest in the Chelsea attack. We all have Cole Palmer. We don't benefit when Chelsea score loads of goals if you just have Cole Palmer. The next 7 or 8 fixtures are all green on the FPL difficulty rater. Brentford, Everton, Fulham, Ipswich, Palace, Bournemouth, Wolves. Come on, right? He'll be rested in the week. If he is, I'm tempted to buy him. I expect he'll miss the midweek game. It's the B team in the week in the Europa Conference League, isn't it? We've seen that. So Enzo should get a rest and be ready for a good fixture against Brentford, who are the worst away team in the league so far this season. So when we compare Enzo and Bruno, guys, I would love you to hit that like button, by the way. If you're new around here, please do consider hitting the subscribe button. This was on the Scout app. Comparison chart for Enzo versus Bruno. This is just the last 4. We've got, of course, Bruno in red and Enzo in blue. This is where we're at. Like, blue around the outside. Enzo, better for so many of these metrics. Shots in the box, goals, assists, all of it, right? When we look at the expected data, away from the spider diagram, when we look at the chart of expected, we can see again, like, Enzo is winning out in most of these metrics. All the XA, the XG free kick, great. Bruno's slightly better. XA delta, slightly better. I really think Enzo is worth considering this week. I think Bruno is a good pick. I don't want to sell him. But if you need the money, it might not necessarily be a downgrade. So look, that's all on the Scout members area if you want to check that out. There's a link in the description. But also, shout out to OneFootball, by the way. If you don't have OneFootball on the home screen of your mobile phone, genuinely download it. There's a link to download now. Get your phone out, scan the QR code. OneFootball lives on my home screen. There it is, right? I'm on it on a day and night. It's brilliant for all your Premier League news stories, but your Champions League is coming up this week. If you want to see Champions League interview clips, they're there. If you want to see Champions League news, it's there. The best football app for scores, team news, everything. It's a great FPL resource at the same time. So look, What am I doing with my team this week? Before I show you my 4 options, let me show you some data on some budget midfielders, right? These are some budget midfielders that I really like this week. I've told you about Enzo, but I also have to consider Ahmad, Semenyo and Iwobi. That's 4 I like that are all under 6 million. Now, I own Morgan Rogers, who I think is one of the standouts already. When we look at Enzo, we've spoken about his average position. We've spoken about the fixtures. They're great. We've spoken about, is it 3 goals, 3 assists? Wow. Yeah, that's so far this season. Okay. He's not had the most amount of minutes. Like when we look at Chelsea and we go, oh, okay, the top performers have had like 1,200 minutes. Enzo's down a little bit. Like Enzo's had 967, but he's now earned his spot in this team. And he's actually 967 minutes. He's wearing the armband. Have you noticed that in recent weeks? Like he's now the captain, which again just shows this new role, goals, leadership role. He's a huge key cog of this team. Ahmad at Man United, playing right wing back, is often the second or third most advanced man on the pitch. He is a winger playing at wing back. The left side's different. It's one of the fullbacks, Dalot Mazraoui, plays it more defensively. Right wing back Ahmad, he is getting returns. He's had 6 assists this season and a goal, and he's had the fewest minutes of all these 4 players, 793. But again, he feels nailed in this Amorim team. He's missed half a game since Amorim took over, and that was because of the fixtures. He missed a game at Arsenal, and he came on at half time because they were losing. He went straight away. My first attacking sub is going to be Ahmad. Ahmad feels to me first choice. Absolutely, make no doubt about that. At 5.1, I'm genuinely tempted. It's a bit of a mixed bag of fixtures. City, Bournemouth, Wolves up next for United. And I would question United's attack isn't as good as Chelsea's attack. But Ahmad is more attacking than Enzo, it has to be said. Semenyo 5.7, again, when we're looking at Bournemouth and Fulham up next, and Semenyo and Iwobi, they're both 5.7. They've both got a mixed bag of fixtures. But these are players that play every minute, right? Pretty much. 1,300 minutes. Semenyo's had 4 goals, 1 assist. Iwobi's actually had 5 goals, 3 assists. Iwobi's flown under the radar this season for Fulham. They're a very good attack too. And Fulham and Bournemouth are teams we can trust a little bit, right? They're good mid-table teams. So there's options in this price band. And the reason why this price band's important to me is I'm looking at buying Trent this week. Now, to get Trent, I need money. So I look at my team and go, Bruno or Solanke, that's where I can get money. So good to see the options in midfield, because when we see my 4 transfer options, wow, it's early in the week. There's a lot of football to be played. I'm not making any decisions now. These team selection videos usually come later in the week for me. I'm doing it early this week. I'm sure I'll end up going with one of these 4 options. Option 1 is as sort of discussed. Bruno out to a budget mid. I'd have 6 million to spend. If I went to Enzo, it'd leave me $1 million in the bank, and then I could go after I've gone Greaves to Trent. So Trent comes in, Greaves goes. Greaves, by the way, not sure if he's first choice at Ipswich anymore. He started midweek. Didn't start at the weekend. It's hard to know, but regardless, Greaves isn't getting me clean sheets. So that's an opportunity to get on Trent. It means selling Bruno, which isn't ideal, but I just think Trent is a better pick than Bruno. And I've got 2 free transfers. Option 1 leaves me with money in the bank. Option 2 leaves me with 0.1 in the bank. It sells Bruno to Anthony Gordon. We've looked at budget mids. I do wonder if Anthony Gordon's worth the extra spend. Probably is. He's got 2 amazing fixtures up next. It's Leicester and Ipswich. I can't get to Isak, not easily. If you can't get to Isak in the next 2 weeks, or for the next 2 games, the next best thing is going to be Gordon, who was injured, who's had a knock and therefore rested at the weekend. He came on as a sub as they lost 4-2 to Brentford. That would also allow me to go Greaves out and Jurriën Timber in. So option 2 I quite like. It's just no Trent. If I go Timber, I'm saying yes, double Arsenal defence, probably no Trent. And I think Liverpool defence and Trent is better than any Arsenal defender. So I like option 2. Let's see how they get on in the week. Arsenal, Bruno, yeah, there's an opportunity there to get on double Arsenal defence, but I feel like I'm a bit late to that party, and they are still conceding goals. And Timber might become a transfer out waiting to happen, but I do think Ben White's probably out for a couple of months still. Option 3 is get on Isak. We've said, or Gordon, get on Newcastle attack. What about just try and find a way of getting on Isak? The problem is Isak's expensive. To get Isak, I need to then downgrade a defender. I could sell Rico Lewis, he's suspended, and get a Badiashile or a Dragusin. Dragusin's probably going to see game time because Van der Ven and Romero could both be injured again for Spurs. Not ideal. The 4.3 defenders are not sexy, and I've only got 0.0 in the bank. I'd have to make those moves early in the week because of Isak price rises. So I love Isak. If you can get to him in one move this week, do it. Go buy Isak. I can't get to him in one move. And even in two, it's tricky because I do have defensive transfers that I have to make this week as well. Option 4 is just don't touch the attack. Leave Bruno, leave Solanke, Mikalenko, and maybe I go Joe Gomez. I've got 0.6 in the bank, remember, so I can get Joe Gomez in. This week's going to tell me a lot about Liverpool. They've got a Champions League game. If Joe Gomez plays and starts, I think they go to Girona on Tuesday night and they look good at the back. I'll be confident about Gomez being the replacement for Konate, who's going to miss like 6 to 8 games. There is a chance Kwanzaa takes those minutes instead of Gomez. And I'm not certain on Gomez as I thought I would have been a couple of game weeks ago when he came in for Konate and played well. More recently, we saw Kwanzaa getting 90 and Gomez going off early. So let's see what happens there with Liverpool. Again, that probably rules out Trent, but it leaves an extra free transfer in the bank. So they're my 4 options. At the moment, I am veering towards option 1, I think, and possibly 2 as a preferred option. So let's see how they look in the team, shall we? So when we see... Let's just see option 1. We've seen the bus team. Let's then take out Bruno and take out Greaves. Let's put in Enzo and put in Trent. And then this leaves me no free transfers, 1 million in the bank. How does this team look? I think this team looks so much better because Greaves to Trent is the biggest upgrade you could wish for. It then doesn't look defensively frail. Sure, I lose Bruno. But it's not a bad week to lose Bruno. He's got Man City. And I gain Enzo, who, quite frankly, I don't have to start every week. I'll probably start him this week. Brentford at home versus instead of Rodgers, who has Forest away. But I could very happily start Rodgers moving forward and bench Enzo. And it gives me 1 million in the bank to then have fun next week. Where if I want to go Solanke out to Isak, yes, I've missed a very good game on Isak, but Isak still has some good fixtures coming forward. Then I can then go and invest in that Newcastle attack. And I do think Isak's going to be very templatey soon. Firstly, I think he's an awesome asset. But because he's got Leicester and Ipswich, everyone's going to get on him. But if you miss this week, because you can't get there, i.e. like me, Ipswich away is not a bad entry point. And then Villa at home, Man United away, Spurs away. They sound bad on paper, Man United and Spurs away. Newcastle go and score goals at Man United and Spurs, don't they? And then after that, Wolves at home, Bournemouth at home, Southampton away, Fulham at home. He's got a really good run until like mid-Feb. So it's not ideal not getting him this week. But he's still a very, very good pick the week after. Even though you miss one plum fixture, you're still getting loads of other plum fixtures. And I think we have to try and remember that. Sometimes if we miss that key week, we go, I've missed the boat now. You've not. He's going to be a good pick long term, I think. And that is Alexander Isak, ladies and gents. We've got to talk captaincy. Got to talk captaincy. Guys, if you haven't already, this is just an appeal. If you fancy it, do hit that subscribe button if you're new around here and just helps the algorithm. Drop a comment. I'll be replying to all comments on this video as well about your dilemmas. And let me know what you think of my 4 options. Genuinely, I want to know, do you like that option 1, which I'm veering towards? But captaincy, these are the 3 captaincy options. 3 elite players, 3 of the best players in the game, all with good home fixtures. We rarely see this. They've all got a good fixture. They've all got a good home fixture. The best fixture of all is probably Palmer's because Brentford are the weakest away team in the league. Although, look, Everton and Fulham still a good fixture for Saka and Salah. And then I look at it and go, Palmer, you've got a midweek rest. Yet Saka has Champions League Wednesday night. They're at home to Monaco. Salah has Champions League Tuesday night. They're away to Girona, although he's had a weekend rest. And I just think that extra rest could be good for Palmer. I'm totally 50-50. I'm going to probably rule out Saka. He just feels way more assist threat than goal threat at the moment. And the numbers do show that. His creative numbers are awesome. His goal threat isn't quite the same. And if we're talking high ceiling captaincy, you want goal threat. So I'm 50-50 on Palmer versus Salah. Again, let me know in the comments what direction you're going to go. Palmer because the opponent there is the midweek rest. But Salah because in open play... Remember, Palmer's just scored 2 pens. I know Salah scores pens too. But in open play, Salah has felt the most dangerous player in the game in the last 6 weeks. I don't think anyone can argue with that, right? So that's where I'm at. Guys, thank you so much for watching. More videos later this week. Do like and subscribe on your way out. Check out that OneFootball app as well if you're not already. The link is literally just below in that description. Get it on your phone and get reading football news like from a different source to probably what you usually use. I think if you give OneFootball a go, you'll go, yeah, this is the best football app out there. Again, let me know in the comments what you think. Guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.